I went into this interview expecting to write a profile of an interesting company that was solving a meaningful problem and that was on the path to becoming a next billion-dollar startup. And it wasn't until after the interview and when everything unraveled that I realized the story I would be writing would be very different. So I met Shannon Spanhake because her company applied to be one of our next billion-dollar startups. This is a list that Forbes has put together for the last 5 years. We just released our 6th year. Cleo jumped out to me from the list of our finalists for next billion-dollar startups because I was really interested in what Cleo is doing as a company. I'm at an age where a lot of my friends are having kids and they're starting to face these questions of how will I return to work after being a parent? When I first met Shannon, I thought she was great. She's very charismatic. So when I asked her about her age in the interview, she responded and said, "Oh, I'm 35." And then paused and said, "No, wait, I'm 36. I just turned 36 in April." And we both laughed about it because it's a totally normal thing to forget that, oh, my birthday just happened or be off by a couple months. It was when I asked about her parents. She asked, "Oh, do I have to tell you what they do?" It caught me off guard a little bit. That's kind of a question a lot of people would answer, especially if you're in the parenting space. I emailed our researcher at Forbes and I said, "Hi Sue, I just met a really interesting CEO. Her name's Shannon Spanhake. She's 36 years old. She was born in April. She grew up in upstate New York. Can you help me find any information about her parents?" And the first thing she said was age check. She's not 36, she's 42. We looked at voter records in 2 states, California and New York, and they both had the same birthday, which put her at 42 years old. And then we also checked other things like property records that showed that she'd lived in different places, and the dates matched up with her being 42. I went into my editor's office and said, "I think we have a problem here." And immediately our marching orders became, let's figure out what else she has lied about in her past. There were varying things that she said that were either straight up lies or stretching the truth. One was an award called the Top 100 Women Innovating Science and Technology from the Grace Hopper Foundation. That award, when you Google it, it only shows up in Shannon's search results. And there's no such thing as the Grace Hopper Foundation. Calling herself a UN expert for 2 years was another stretch of the truth. She had gone on 2 UN missions to Kazakhstan in 2015, where she was presenting as part of a workshop. But most people who have gone to present at a UN workshop don't consider themselves a UN expert for 2 years. We got on the phone, I made sure that we were on the record with the PR person, and then I simply told her that her age didn't pass fact check. And then it was silence. And I said, "Shannon, are you still there?" More silence. So eventually the PR person jumped in on the phone and said that they'd talk to me about it at a later point. And Shannon, the only thing that she said to me eventually on the phone was that it was complicated. That night she emailed me and apologized for not being honest with me. And I found out she'd also told her company that day that she had lied to me as a reporter. And so I thought it was brave of her to stand up in front of her company and do that. And the next morning though, I still had to email her and say, "Thanks for getting back to me, but I hope you can understand that I'll be continuing my reporting into your company." After I had talked to her about her age, she actually went back and updated her LinkedIn. And she'd removed things like the London School of Economics at first, and removed other jobs that she'd previously held from her list of LinkedIn titles. Obviously, somebody updating their LinkedIn isn't any sort of a smoking gun, but to me that was just another sign that maybe she was trying to change the narrative of her past. I also start reaching out to employees, both current and former, on LinkedIn and through social media. The major themes that came out of these conversations with the employees was that the company was selling this idea of a better workplace for parents, but internally it was not living up to that standard. And that was something that across the board, employees, current and former, were frustrated. And I think that's what tips the scale at the end of the day into why this is even a story in the first place. I think for the most part, people understand that lying about anything is bad, even if we are in this post-truth, post-facts era.